Hey guys, I was asked by Justin and Janine to share my testimony, which I'm both honored and excited to do. So I'll start by saying, despite how bad things sound, none of this is told for the sake of empathy, but really to show the real work that God has done in my life, even when I didn't know He was doing the work. So growing up, I had a very interesting childhood. My mother had AIDS. We were homeless. When I say homeless, I mean obviously spending nights in and out of shelters, crashing on couches, things like that. We had the offer of support from our family, but I don't think we took it. But nevertheless, all I can remember from that time, up until she died when I was 7, was being happy as a child, despite the circumstances around me. And throughout the majority of my life, I always believed it was just because of her love. And I'm sure it was in large part because she showed unconditional love despite the circumstances around us. But as I got older, I learned God was there. So when she passed at age 7, I was adopted into a wonderful family that had a great tradition of going to church. We were Catholic. We went to Our Lady of Refuge in Brooklyn, and we had a great Sunday tradition. You know, it was about family, it was about faith. But even growing up, I don't think I had a relationship with God. That being said, I had a relationship with the church. I received communion, and I look forward to Sundays. But I look forward to Sundays because it meant bagels, it meant family time, it meant something stable. But my personal relationship with God, whether it was my age or just what I had been through in life, wasn't fortified at that point. Fast forward several years, moved out to Long Island, met my wife, had a family, and I think drifted away from God. And actually, in trying to find faith on Long Island, I think I was pushed further away from God, just in the way that the religion that I had grown up understanding was presenting to me now. Still felt lost, still felt like I wasn't connected with God, still felt very much a ritual or a process. One day, my neighbors, Lila and Tom, got my wife to take the kids to a VBS camp, which was great, and the kids loved it, and they loved coming home and talking to me about what they learned about God and the fun that they had with their friends. And I was just happy to have free daycare, let's be candid. But over time, my wife and sons actually went to church a couple times without me by the invite of Tom and Lila, and I had the excuse of I'm working. But deep down inside, I just knew I wasn't really connected. One day, the stars aligned, I guess, if you will, and I went to church. And it was different, but I still wasn't all there. So the following Sunday, that following Thursday after that Sunday, I was struggling with some personal issues. I struggled with depression and anxiety, and a song was playing that I heard on Facebook, and it was "You Say" by Lauren Daigle. And it spoke so much to my heart that I literally burst out in tears. And I actually tributed the song and dedicated the song to my wife, because she is that person that has always said I'm enough when I didn't feel like I was enough. I get a couple of comments back from a few of my friends that are of the Christian faith saying, well, that's a great song. I listen to it every morning. Jesus is good. And I think I hadn't put the two together, that it was a Christian song. So the following Sunday, I go to church, and Pastor Justin makes an announcement that his niece is going to sing for the first time for that church. And this song was calling to her heart, and it needed to be sung. And sure enough, it was "You Say." Now, keep in mind, we had missed the first song because we were just the typical Lopez family running late, and made it just in time for this announcement and this song. And it touched my heart in such a way that I burst out in tears, and my wife clutched my hand as I grasped the magnitude of the situation. And that's when I knew Jesus wanted me there, and Jesus needed me there. I started turning to the scripture for a lot of things, instead of looking to just therapy my depression and my anxiety with medication and therapy. I found that God at times spoke clearer to me than my therapist could, and connected the dots for me. So for that, I am eternally grateful. I've met some phenomenal people in our church that I now call family. My brothers of, the Iron Sharpens Iron Men's Group, and my extended Elevate family, everybody that I see every Sunday. So in short, God was always there. He guided me safely through a scary time as a child and left me blind to the evil that was around me and didn't allow my heart to be corrupted. He led me to where I am today. He walked me into that church and he welcomed me into that church and reminded me that he's always been there. And no matter what I've gone through since, I've always looked to God. And I want to thank the Cazzettis, and I want to thank Elevate Church and the family and the support system that lies within it for fostering the growth that I have in faith and my relationship with God. Manny, you are a phenomenal inspiration. Rob, you are a great inspiration. Tom, I could do every single person's name in the way that you motivate me. But I am sincerely grateful and blessed to have you in my life, and even more so, blessed that you guys brought God into my life.